the dungeons of the Vatican. This phrase alone, even whispered quietly, sounds like an invitation to a world of mysteries, enigmas, secrets, intrigues, and untold stories. Immediately before our eyes, like scenes from an adventure film, images appear of dark, damp, winding corridors hidden deep underground, behind massive stone walls, illuminated only by the flickering light of torches. We imagine ancient halls covered with the dust of centuries, filled with ancient manuscripts, yellowed parchments, priceless works of art, artifacts from long-vanished civilizations, and perhaps secrets capable of overturning our understanding of the world, of religion, of human history. What really lies beneath the magnificent papal palaces, beneath the majestic St. Peter's Basilica, beneath the squares and gardens of the Vatican? What secrets do these ancient walls hold? Walls that have witnessed the changing of epochs, the succession of pontiffs, the shifting of political regimes. What secrets do these dungeons guard, having witnessed intrigues, conspiracies, power struggles, and perhaps the most incredible events? Today we will try, at least a little, to lift the veil of secrecy surrounding the Vatican dungeons and descend, albeit virtually, into these mysterious depths to learn about the most interesting, most captivating, most mind-stirring legends, theories, and hypotheses associated with this amazing place, with this heart of the Catholic Church, with this centre of global power and influence. Prepare for a fascinating journey into the very heart of the Vatican, where history intertwines with myths, where reality borders on fantasy, and where truth is inseparable from fiction. The Vatican, as we know, is the smallest state in the world, a dwarf state, an enclave located in the very centre of Rome, the capital of Italy. But despite its, frankly speaking, modest miniature size, the Vatican's area is only 44 hectares. This tiny state has an enormous, colossal influence on world politics, culture, religion, and of course, a rich, centuries-old history full of mysteries and enigmas. For many centuries, starting from the era of early Christianity, the Roman popes, heads of the Catholic Church, have collected priceless collections of artworks, paintings, sculptures, frescoes, mosaics. They collected ancient books, manuscripts, handwritten documents, many of which, fortunately, have survived to our days and are kept in the world-famous Vatican museums and in the equally famous Vatican Apostolic Library. These collections are a true treasure, an invaluable heritage of all humanity. But what lies beneath them, beneath these museums, beneath this library, beneath these palaces, beneath these squares? What is hidden in the depths of the Vatican Hill? Officially, according to all guidebooks, all reference books, all encyclopedias, the Vatican dungeons are, first and foremost, a necropolis. That is, an ancient cemetery, a burial place for the first Christians who lived in Rome in the first centuries of our era, as well as a burial place for Roman popes, cardinals, bishops, and other high-ranking officials of the Catholic Church. The most famous, most visited, most revered part of this vast underground necropolis is, of course, the tomb of St. Peter, the Apostle Peter, one of Jesus Christ's closest disciples, considered, according to Catholic tradition, to be the first Roman Pope, the first head of the Christian Church. According to Christian tradition, the Apostle Peter was crucified upside down in Rome during the reign of Emperor Nero around the 60s of the first century of our era, and his body was secretly buried by his followers on Vatican Hill, which at that time was outside the city and was a desolate, abandoned place. Excavations conducted in the Vatican in the 20th century, in the middle of the last century, indeed discovered beneath the main altar of St. Peter's Basilica, beneath the majestic dome created by Michelangelo, an ancient burial site which, as many scholars, archaeologists, historians, and of course representatives of the Catholic Church believe, is the authentic grave of the Apostle Peter. This place, marked by a modest tombstone, has become a pilgrimage site for millions of believing Christians from around the world who come to the Vatican to venerate the relics of the Holy Apostle. But besides St. Peter's tomb, the Vatican dungeons, as archaeological research shows, conceal other, no less interesting burials, ancient catacombs, underground chapels decorated with frescoes and mosaics, and also, according to rumours, legends, and numerous theories, secret archives, hidden repositories, concealed halls in which are stored not only priceless relics, but also, possibly, the most intimate secrets of the Catholic Church, secrets capable of overturning our understanding of Christianity, of history, of the world. And here, at the junction of reality and myth, begins the most interesting, the most captivating, the most intriguing. There exists an enormous number of various legends, myths, conspiracy theories, rumours, and speculations about what is actually stored in the secret, inaccessible to outsiders, dungeons of the Vatican. They speak of ancient, pre-Christian manuscripts containing forbidden, esoteric knowledge, of secret teachings, of magical rituals. They speak of testimonies about the life of Jesus Christ that radically contradict the official doctrine of the Church as set forth in the Gospels. They speak of miraculous relics possessing incredible power, capable of healing diseases, granting immortality, or even ruling the world. And of course, there is no shortage of theories about contacts with extraterrestrial civilizations, about aliens, about secret agreements between the Vatican and extraterrestrials. One of the most popular, most widespread, most discussed legends is connected with the so-called secret archives of the Vatican, or, as it is officially called, the Vatican Apostolic Archive. In fact, this archive, contrary to its name, is not so secret, in the sense that it is not completely closed to outsiders. It is open to researchers, to scholars, to historians, but access to it is strictly limited, strictly regulated, and not all documents stored in it are available for study. This restriction of access, this veil of secrecy, naturally gives rise to many rumours, speculations, and conspiracy theories about what is so secret, so forbidden, so dangerous, hidden behind the closed doors of the Vatican archive. They say, for example, that the secret archives of the Vatican hold the authentic, unedited letters of Pontius Pilate, the Roman procurator of Judea, who, according to the Gospels, sentenced Jesus Christ to crucifixion. In these letters, allegedly, Pontius Pilate describes a completely different story of Jesus, not the one we know from the Bible, a story that calls into question the divine nature of Christ. They also speak of ancient apocryphal Gospels not included in the canonical text of the New Testament, which contain other, unknown information about the life and teachings of Jesus, information that could radically change our understanding of Christianity. Another, no less popular legend states that in the dungeons of the Vatican, in secret repositories, are hidden the immense treasures of the Templars, a powerful and mysterious medieval knightly order founded in the 12th century to protect pilgrims heading to the Holy Land. The Templars, as is known from history, were not only brave warriors, but also skilled financiers, bankers. They accumulated enormous wealth, owned lands, castles, ships throughout Europe and the Middle East. But in the early 14th century, in 1307, the French king Philip IV the Fair, who owed the Templars huge sums of money, decided to get rid of his creditors and accused the order of heresy, of devil worship, of other terrible crimes. The Templar order was disbanded, its leaders were arrested and executed, and its property confiscated. But, as legend has it, the Templars managed to hide their most valuable treasures, their relics, their archives, and one of the places where they could have done this was the Vatican, with which the order had close, albeit complicated, relations. There are even more fantastic, incredible theories which, nevertheless, find their supporters, especially among fans of conspiracy theories and ufology. These theories claim that the Vatican, for many years, and possibly centuries, has been hiding from humanity information about contacts with extraterrestrial civilizations, with aliens, and even stores in its secret dungeons, in its hidden repositories, fragments of alien ships that crashed on Earth, and possibly even the bodies of the aliens themselves, living or dead. This theory, of course, has no scientific documentary confirmation, but it continues to stir minds and generate more and more new rumours and speculations. Of course, the overwhelming majority of these legends, myths, conspiracy theories are merely conjectures, fantasies, speculations that have no real documentary basis. But, on the other hand, one cannot deny that the Vatican, with its centuries-old history, with its enormous influence, with its traditional secrecy, is a place truly shrouded in mystery, a place where history intertwines with myths, where reality is inseparable from fiction, and where, in principle, anything is possible, even the most incredible. Who knows what other discoveries await us in the future? What other secrets are hidden in the dungeons of the Vatican, beneath its squares, beneath its palaces, beneath its cathedrals? Perhaps someday, thanks to new technologies, new research methods, new discoveries, we will finally learn the truth about what is actually stored within these ancient walls, in these dark corridors, in these secret archives. And for now, we can only make assumptions, study facts, analyse legends, and hope for new discoveries that might someday shed light on these age-old secrets, change our understanding of the past, and possibly of the future. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating, captivating, and slightly mystical journey into the dungeons of the Vatican, into the very heart of the Catholic Church, into a world of mysteries, enigmas, legends, and untold stories. Together with you, we have examined the most interesting, most popular, most mind-stirring legends and theories associated with this amazing place. But the final conclusion, as always, is up to you, our viewers. If you liked this video, if you learned something new, if you pondered the eternal questions about religion, history, power, and secrets, don't forget to like, leave your comment, share your thoughts, your impressions, your versions. What do you think is really hidden in the dungeons of the Vatican? What secrets do these ancient walls hold? And of course, subscribe to our channel so as not to miss new investigations, new journeys into the world of the unknown, new discoveries and hypotheses. Share this video with friends, discuss, debate, for, as is known, truth is born in debate, and truth is always somewhere nearby. One just needs to know how to look for it and not be afraid to ask questions, even the boldest, most incredible ones. Until we meet again.